animal kingdom, no? So, can you see me, other teacher, any teacher, what they are doing in the syllabus of EMBOS also? So, the tissue in animals now will start. Page number 100, NCERT book. Animal tissue will start, okay? So, we'll start here the animal tissue. Animal tissue in the lower classes also you have done. So same thing is just slightly enlarged way we are doing here. So first of all, you have to know that what is a tissue. You already know that suppose we take an organism, okay. Organism is made of this is made up of the organ system, and the organs are made up of the tissues, and the tissues are made up of the cells. So when similar cells having same structure and function, same structure and function, similar cells having same structure and function, if they combine together, okay, similar cells having same structure and function combined together, then it is called as a tissue. So cells, many cells combined together, similar cell combined, same structure and function combined together, they form the tissues, and many tissues combined together, same kind of tissue combined together to form the one organ system, and different type of organ combined together to form the organism. That is a very basic idea of the zoology. Okay, so now, okay, in the animal, tissues are found in animals also, plants also. So we are doing here animal tissue. Okay. Okay, so the animal tissue are classified into 4 types. You know that. Okay. So here we can say the animal tissue, they are classified into 4 types. These are epithelial tissue. Okay. Epithelial tissue. And we have the connective tissue. Okay. Connective tissue. And we have the muscular tissue. Okay, muscular tissue. Okay, then we have the neural tissue. Muscular tissue, then we have the neural tissue. Okay, so these are the 4 kind of tissues here are here. Number 1 is epithelial, second connective, third muscular, fourth one neural tissue. Okay, now epithelial, epi means above. Epithelial tissue, if you go, epi means above. Epithelial tissues are those tissues which are found above the organ system. They are called the epithelial tissue. Okay, and so here, if you go to page number now 101, okay, 101. See, I am concentrating directly on the book, because all the question of NEET exam and other competitive exam, they ask from the lines of the book. So student, you have to read, you have to go through the line. You don't have to study any guidebook, nothing is there. No test paper, nothing. It is only from the book the question has been asked. So we are concentrating on the books only. Okay. So if you go to the epithelial tissue, okay, we'll go to the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissues now. Okay, they have epithelial tissue. Uh, these tissues have a free surface which faces either a body fluid or outside the environment. Okay, they will suppose we have inside the organ system. Suppose this is an intestine. So here in the intestine, the inner surface. This is the inner surface. This is an intestine. So the inner surface. Okay, this is made up of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. They will expose to the fluid. Here are the fluids are there. No, so they will expose. They have a free surface. Okay, this is a free surface. and free surface. Okay, here the free surface in the intestine, and this free surface, inner surface is made up of epithelial tissue, has a free surface. This is exposed to the body fluid, or they are, or sometime if you go to the skin, okay, skin of face or hand, etc. They are this epithelial tissue. They are exposed to the environment. They are exposed to the environment. They are saying. Okay, and thus provides a covering layer or a lining of some parts of the body. Okay, they produce a covering layer or the lining of some parts of the body. Okay, the cells are compactly packed. We'll see the structure of the cells. Cells are compactly packed with the little intercellular matrix. Okay, cells, if we look at the cells of the epithelial tissues, they are, you see, they are compactly packed. Okay, they are completely packed without any, they are completely packed. Cells are, are packed. Okay, they don't have any intercellular matrix. Okay, no intercellular species. They don't have any intercellular spaces or matrix. Okay, and then there are the two. The epithelial tissue are broadly classified into two types: simple epithelium and compound epithelium. Okay, so we are discussing the both simple and compound epithelium. Okay, so now we will go to the simple epithelium first of all. Epithelial tissue, these are of two types. Okay, they are the simple epithelium, and they have the compound epithelium. Okay, simple epithelium and compound epithelium. No? Okay, there's two types: simple epithelium and compound epithelium. I think here I have to make it EPI, epithelium. Okay, and compound epithelium. Now, simple epithelium is composed of single layer of cells and functions as a lining for body cavities, ducts, and tubes. Okay, they are made up of the okay simple layer. They are made up of the simple epithelium. Okay, they are composed of single layer of cells. They are made of only one layers of the cells. Okay, and this is the simple epithelium made up of the one layers of cells like this. Okay, this is the simple epithelium, the one layer of cells, and they will form the inner lining or outer lining for the body cavities, ducts like the any kind of duct. If we say the salivary duct, or we can say the pancreatic duct, and the tubes. All kind of tubes are there in the body. Okay, just like the nephric tubules in the body. So all these are made up of the simple epithelium tubes. Okay, just like we have the nephrons in the kidneys. They are made up of the simple epithelium tissues. Now then compound epithelium consists of two or more cell layers. After this cell layer, there is another cell layer, two or more cell layers, and they are divided into three types: squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. Okay, so they are found in the inner lining. Okay, simple epithelium is found in the inner lining. Okay, inner lining of the body cavities. Body cavities. Okay, body cavities. That's like we can say that. Okay, mouth cavities, etc. In the jaws, in our mouth, in the mouth, the upper jaw and the lower jaw, and all the tissues in the mouth, they are made of simple epithelium. That's why when the scientists want to study the human's cell, they take all the chick cells and study under the microscope, the simple epithelium. And the compound epithelium, body cavities, the ducts and glands. Okay, and body cavities, ducts, and they are found in the inner lining. Okay, they are found in inner lining of the body cavities, ducts and glands. They have one layer of cells. Okay, and these are called as simple epithelium. And compound epithelium, this is of two types are there. Then we compound epithelium. Okay, 1 minute, students. Okay, let me. Okay, 1 minute, student, please. Okay, 1 minute, 1 second. Okay, very important call. Let me attend the call. Actually, very urgent call. I go to the compound epithelium. Okay, so we are going to compound epithelium. Compound epithelium. Okay. All right. Now this is compound epithelium. Compound epithelium, I told you that they are made up of the many layers of cells, right? And simple epithelium was made up of single layer of cells, that you have understood that. And then compound epithelium, there are three types: squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. So they are squamous. Okay. They are, we write here, squamous. Okay. Squamous. Then we have number A, squamous. Okay, number B will be, I see, cuboidal. Okay, number C will be, okay, columnar. COLUMN, columnar. And sometimes the columnar epithelium bearing the cilia. So that is also taken into account. See, columnar epithelium. Okay, columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium. Okay, bearing cilia. So now we'll go one by one. Very simple. You don't have to worry about that. So number A, we go to the squamous epithelium. If you look at the squamous epithelium, cells are flattened. If you look at the cells now, if you just draw that cells now, okay, draw the cells of the squamous epithelium here. Okay, so these cells are flattened like this. Okay, cells are flattened. Okay. Okay. These are flattened cells are there. Okay. Right. These are squamous epithelium cells. Now, squamous epithelium cells, they have the flattened cells. Okay, they have the flattened cells. Squamous epithelium have the flattened cells. Okay, then they are made up of single thin layer of flattened cell. Only one layer of cells are there, very thin, and they have the irregular boundaries. Boundaries are irregular. We don't get the regular boundaries. They have the irregular boundaries. Okay, they have the, you see, irregular. They have the irregular boundaries. Okay, irregular boundaries are there. Okay, then we see here that they are found in the walls of the blood vessels. Squamous epithelium are found in the walls. Suppose we take the arteries. Okay, suppose. Okay, we take the arteries. Okay, arteries we take, or we take the veins. So, in the walls of the blood vessels. Okay, they are found in the walls of the blood. These are the walls. No, so they are found in the walls of the blood, vessels, arteries and veins. Okay, then, okay, they are also found in the air sacs of the lungs. In the lungs, we have alveoli. So In the alveoli of lungs, they are found. Okay, squamous epithelium. They ask in the NEET exam also, the alveoli of lungs are made of which kind of tissues? So the alveoli of lungs are made of squamous epithelial tissue, very thin layer of tissue is there, a squamous epithelium. Okay, because they don't have the regular boundary, they are made of thin layer. They are found in the alveoli of lungs, known as the air sacs of lungs also. And the squamous epithelium are involved in the diffusion of functions like forming a diffusion boundary. Okay, they will make an area, they will make a boundary where diffusion diffusion of gases can take place, right? Diffusion of gases can take place. That means they will allow the gases from a region of high concentration to enter into a region of low concentration. Okay. Now here, if you get this, okay, suppose here you get the alveoli of lung. This is the alveoli of lungs. Now, lung alveoli of lung, this will allow the diffusion of the oxygen, and also it will allow the diffusion of carbon dioxide. Okay, oxygen from the alveoli will go into the blood, and carbon dioxide from the blood will diffuse it at the surface and goes out. So the diffusion bound, it will provide a diffuse sort of diffusion boundary, right? Okay. Then we go to the cuboidal epithelium. After that, we go to the cuboidal epithelium. Okay. Now, okay, next one we go to the okay cuboidal, right? We go to the cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium, right? We go to the cuboidal epithelium. Now, cuboidal epithelium, okay, if you they have the cube-like cells. Cuboidal epithelium, if you look at the cuboidal epithelium here, okay, suppose I draw like that. So they have a cube-like cells like this. Okay, the cells are cube-like. Okay, now, okay, the cells are, see, they are the cube-like cells. Okay, cube-like cells are there. Okay, and if you look at the boundary there, okay, all the cells is like connected here. Okay, right? Mm. So here, this is cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium cells. So these are made of cube-like cells. It's composed of single layer of cube-like cell, and this is commonly found in the ducts of glands and the tubular parts of nephron in kidneys. Mm. Okay, there's a pancreatic duct or salivary gland duct or the common bile duct. All these ducts, they are found in these ducts and the tubular parts of nephrons of the kidneys. And its main function are secretion and absorption. Okay, the main function of this is secretion. The secretion and absorption. Okay, all the functions related with the secretion and absorption were done by the cuboidal epithelium in the body. The epithelium of the proximal convoluted tubule of the nephron in the kidney has microvilli. Okay, the epithelium of the proximal convoluted tubule of nephron in the kidney has microvilli, and microvilli is made of the cuboidal epithelium. Suppose we get this is our nephron. Okay, this is our nephron. We get the nephron here like this. Okay, this is the nephron, and here this is the, okay, this is our Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule is here. Okay, this is the proximal convoluted tubule, PCT, and DCT, distal convoluted tubule. This is loop of Henle. Loop of Henle. Okay. And this is the collecting duct. Collecting duct. So see the proximal convoluted tubule of the nephron of this is the whole structure of the nephron. So proximal convoluted tubule of the nephron has inside you have the microvilli structures like this. If you look at these structures here, okay, structure here inside they have the microvilli, and these microvilli have the absorptive function. They can absorb the substances, and these microvilli of the proximal convoluted tubules are made up of the cuboidal epithelial cells. Okay. Then we go to the columnar epithelium. Next, after the cuboidal epithelium, okay, we will go to the columnar epithelium now. Okay, so now here we're going to the columnar epithelium. Okay. C-O-L-U-M-N-A-R, columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium, right? Okay. So columnar epithelium, we find here that is composed of single layer of tall and slender cells. Okay, slender cells. It's composed of just like this. Okay, suppose we take a structures like this. Okay, yeah. So this is made up of a single layer of tall. Like this. Okay. Here. All the tall cells have the nucleus inside them, and then this is connected like this. Okay. So these are tall cells. Tall cells, and if you can identify, if you can take them out, it will be just like this. Shapes will be just like this. Tall cells. Okay, they have the nucleus inside. Okay, and okay, these are the tall cells. If you look at the structure of the tall cells, so the okay, this is the columnar epithelium. Okay, columnar epithelial cells are there. Okay, so the columnar epithelium is composed of single layer of tall and slender cells, and their nuclei are located at the base. So nuclei are located at the base. Here, if you get the nuclei, here also you get the nuclei. Here also you get at the base. Nuclei are located at the base here. Okay, right at the base. Either if you can stick like this is slightly here. Okay, this will be slightly here at the base. Okay, nucleus are located at the base, and the okay. Free surfaces have the microvilli. They have the free surfaces here, somewhere free surfaces, and you see free surfaces are made up of the microvilli here like this. Okay, these are known as the microvilli. Okay, free surfaces have the microvilli, and they are found in the lining of stomach and intestine, and helps in secretion and absorption. They are found in the lining of stomach. Suppose okay, lining of stomach. Okay, here in this part we get the columnar epithelium, and also in the intestine, lining of the intestine. They are found here also, the lining of the intestine, because the intestine have the microvilli, and microvilli they help in absorption of the digested substances like glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, and glycerol. all these digested products are absorbed by the help of microvilli. So they have absorptive functions, and the microvilli are made up of the columnar epithelial cells. Sometime in the exam they will ask, in the NEET exam, what kind of cells are found in the microvilli, or microvilli is made of what kind of tissues. So microvilli is made up of the columnar epithelial tissues. Very, very important question there. And similarly, the proximal convoluted tubules also, they are absorptive in function, they are microvilli. Okay, but the main characteristic is the cuboidal epithelium and columnar epithelium is there. Columnar epithelium, all the cells have the microvilli at the free surface, and also they are tall and slender, and nucleus is found at the base. Okay, this is the character of the columnar epithelium, and they are found in the lining of the stomach and intestine, and help in secretion and absorption. In the stomach, they secrete the enzyme. Okay, these columnar epithelial cell, they are found in the inner lining of the stomach, and they secrete the protein digestive enzymes. Okay, and in the inside the intestine, they they are present in the form of microvilli and absorb the simple substances resulted from digestion of the food. Okay, then you see microvilli are connected with the blood capillaries. The simple digested product of the food directly enter into the bloods, okay, through the blood capillaries. Okay, then after that we go to this columnar epithelium. We finished. Now we go to the ciliated epithelium. Sometimes we see that, okay, columnar epithelium, it will bring the, okay, it will bring the cilia. It will bring the hair-like structures like this. These hair-like structures are called as the cilia. Okay, many of them are combined together like this. Okay, and they form the cilia. Here also they combine together and they form the cilia. Okay, this is the cilia, right? They form the cilia, right? So the columnar epithelium, they form the cilia. Okay, okay, they are okay. So if the columnar epithelium or cuboidal epithelium cells, they bring the cilia on the free surface. Okay, if they bring the cilia on the free surface, if the columnar epithelium or cuboidal cells, they bear the cilia on their free surface, then they are called ciliated epithelium. Here we get the cilia. Okay, their function is to move the particles or mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. For example, the in the mm, uh, in the pharynx or in the respiratory tube, we get a lot of cilia. They help in moving the, okay, they help in moving the mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium, and they are mainly present in the inner surface of the hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tubes. So the bronchioles are the part of the respiratory system. Okay, bronchiole, then we have the bronchi. Okay, so they are found in the bronchioles and fallopian tubes of the ovary. Okay, right? Okay, now then we go to next page now. Some of the columnar or cuboidal epithelium get specialized for secretion and are called as the glandular epithelium. Okay, some of the columnar or cuboid epithelium are modified into specialized tissue, and they are modified for certain special function. They help in secretion and are called as the glandular epithelium. You see figure number 7.2, glandular epithelium, they have shown here. Okay, glandular epithelium, figure number, okay, 7.2, they have shown like this structures. Okay, yeah, the cell, okay, right? So you see these are the unicellular glands. Unicellular unicellular gland means, okay, the gland made up of single cell, and they also find 7.2b multicellular glands. Okay, they, you see the figure, there will be the there will be the multicellular glands also. Okay, this kind of glands are called as the multicellular glands. Okay, multicellular glands, right? Multicellular gland. So some of the columnar epithelium or the cuboidal epithelium are modified into the unicellular gland and multicellular glands, right? Okay, now uh, unicellular glands consist of the isolated glandular cell, example, goblet cell of alimentary canal. In the alimentary canal, in the intestine, we get the goblet cells. The goblet cells secrete the mucus. Goblet cells secrete the mucus in the intestine. When we study the histology of the intestine, we will get the goblet cells. So the goblet cells in the alimentary canal or intestine, and multicellular consisting of cluster of cells, many cells. Example, we have the salivary gland in the mouth. Okay. So the example of the unicellular gland is the goblet cells of the stomach, we can say. Okay, they secrete the mucus. They secrete mucus. Goblet cell, stomach, they are found in the, okay, and they are found in the stomach. And then we have the another gland known as the salivary gland, found in the mouth. That is a multicellular gland. On the basis of mode of the pouring of their secretion, glands are divided into two categories on the basis of how their secretion can be poured, whether the secretion will go directly into the bloodstream or they go directly over the organ system, how they go, how they pour their secretion. Basing on their way, the gland, they pour their secretion. Okay, some of the gland, they have enzymes, some of the glands have hormones. So the hormone pouring glands are ductless, they don't have duct, and enzyme pouring glands have ducts. Okay, for example, we have the mm, salivary gland is there in the mouth. Okay, then pancreatic gland is there, bile gland is there. They are called as the exocrine gland because they secrete. They are called as exocrine gland because they secrete the substances directly into the organ system. And there is endocrine gland also are there. They secrete their secretion between the intercellular spaces. From there it goes into the bloodstream. So I'll show you here. First of all, let's go to the book now. You see, they have written here on the basis of mode of the pouring of their secretion, right? On the basis of modes of pouring their secretion, glands are divided into two categories, namely exocrine and endocrine glands, right? Exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva, earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzymes, and other cell products. And these products are released through the ducts or tubes. Okay. In contrast, endocrine gland do not have duct. They are ductless gland. Their products called hormones are secreted directly into the fluid bathing the gland. Okay. Suppose I'll see you that. Suppose here we can get, okay, this is the, okay, liver. Okay. So here we have, okay, so here we have this pancreas. Pancreas is there. This is liver. Okay. This is the gallbladder. Gallbladder. So now this is the common bile duct. Common bile duct. Okay, this is an exocrine gland. This is an exocrine gland. It will directly pour their secretion, okay, into the intestine. Intestine. Okay, pour their secretion into the intestine. Similarly, in the stomach also there are certain ducts which pour their enzymes directly into inside the stomach. So these are the exocrine glands. And endocrine glands, if you look at the endocrine glands, you see that ductless glands are called endocrine glands, and we have so many endocrine glands are in the body are there. Pituitary gland is there. Then we have thyroid gland is there. Parathyroid gland is there. Okay. then we have the adrenal gland above the kidneys. All these are the ductless glands. They secrete the hormones. Suppose these are the cells, no? These are cells. Okay, in between the cells, there are certain spaces. These spaces are called as the intercellular spaces. So the hormone secretion will come, hormone secretion from endocrine glands. Okay. Hormones are directly secreted into the intercellular spaces. From there, it goes into the blood. The tissue or the cell will be bathed by the hormones, and it goes into, then it will go into the bloodstream. Okay, bloodstream. Now, this is about the endocrine glands, and this is about the exocrine gland. Then we go to the compound epithelium. Okay, lastly, we go to the compound epithelium. You see, compound epithelium is made up of more than one layer or multi-layer of cells, and thus has a limited role in secretion and absorption, because if they are made of single layer, then they have a role in absorption and secretion, but they are made of multi-layer, so they have limited role in secretion and absorption. Their main function is to provide protection against the chemical and mechanical stress. Their main function is to provide what? Is to provide Their main function is to provide the protection against the chemical and mechanical stresses. Against the chemical and mechanical stresses. Okay, they cover the dry surface of the skin and moist surface of the buccal cavity or the mouth, the pharynx, and the inner lining of the ducts of the salivary glands and of the pancreatic duct, all inner lining. Okay, and free and moist surface of buccal cavity and the dry surface of the skin, these compound epithelium are found. Okay. So in figure number 7.3, they have given compound epithelium. This is made up of many layers of cells are there. Okay, suppose you look at the compound epithelium, right? Compound epithelium, these are made up of the many layers of the cells. Okay, right? So here we got different layers of the cells are there. Okay, many layers of the cells we can get here. Compound epithelium. Okay, just like that. Many layers of cells are here also. They are made of the many layers of the cells here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layer. There are also many layers of the cells. Okay, this compound epithelium made a multi-layer of cells. Okay, so they have limited role in, they don't secrete and absorb actually, and their main function is to provide the protection. This is an important thing. They protect the body from chemical and mechanical injury or stress. They cover the dry surface of the skin and the moist surface of the buccal cavity inside the mouth, the pharynx, okay, and inner lining of the ducts of salivary glands and a pancreatic duct. Inner lining of salivary and pancreatic duct, that you have to know that. And all cells in the epithelium are held together with very little intercellular material. They don't have intercellular space. Okay, they are compactly packed. And in nearly all animal tissue, specialized junctions provide both structural and functional link between an individual cell. Mm, you see, the junctions are there. Okay, specialized junctions are there. Junctions are the connections. Okay, we get the specialized junctions. Okay, junctions are there, and these junctions connect the two cells. Okay, and there are the three types of cell junctions found in the epithelial and other tissues. They are called the tight, adhering, and the gap junctions. So junctions are of three types: the tight junction, then also we have the adhering junction, and gap junction. Okay, adhering junction and the gap junction. Three types of junctions are there: tight junction, adhering junction, and gap junction. Right? Tight junction help to stop the substances from leaking across the tissue. Tight junction, they don't allow. Suppose that this is two cells or the four cells, and here is a junction, very tight junction here. Okay, this is a tight junction. They don't allow the leakage. They don't allow the leakage of the substances across the tissue. And adhering junction perform cementing Suppose we take the adhering junction here, they will provide a very tough connection, just like the cementing, okay, of the two cells together. And the gap junction facilitate the cell to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasm of the adjoining cell. Gap junction, suppose this is two cells, okay, and this is also two cells. So here the cytoplasm, this is the nucleus, and this is the cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm, uh, this is connect, this is adhering junction. Cytoplasm is connected, both of them, cytoplasm is connected. Okay, so if the cytoplasm is connected, then there will be the molecular communication between the two cells. So gap junction facilitate the cell to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasm of adjoining cells for rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and sometimes the big molecules are transferred rapidly. Okay, these are transferred rapidly. That is our okay. That will be the tied. Sorry, that will be the adhering junction, right? That will be adhering junction. Then, okay, next we go to connective tissue now. Connective tissue, after epithelial tissue, we go to connective tissue. Okay, connective tissue, this is page number 102 we have. Okay, now we go to the connective tissue. Okay, student, I think I'll send to Secretariat Administration that my YouTube channel, and then I'll request them to send you in your group so that you can able to subscribe my YouTube channel of class 11. So, okay, so here, go to connective tissue. Connective tissues now. Okay, connective tissues, they will connect the different kind of the cellular substances together. Okay, they are very abundant, most abundant and widely distributed in the body of complex animals, just like human beings or other mammals. They are named connective because of their special function of linking and supporting other tissues and organs of the body. They link and support. As I told you, they connect, they link and support other tissues or organs of the body. Okay, that's why they are the connective tissue. They connect. Okay, and they range from soft connective tissue to the specialized types. They range from soft connective tissue to specialized type of tissue, which include the cartilage, are the soft bones. We know that the bone, adipose, and the blood. All these are connected by the connective tissues. In all connective tissues except the blood, the cells secrete fibers of a structural protein called the collagen. Except the blood, connective tissue will secrete the fiber known as collagen or elastin. Okay, these fibers provide strength, elasticity, and flexibility to the tissue. Okay, now these cells also secrete modified polysaccharides, which accumulate. You see, polysaccharides are the sugars, okay, which accumulate between the cells and the fibers and act as a matrix or ground substance. Connective tissues are classified into three types: loose connective, dense connective, and specialized connective tissue. So now here, if you look at the connective tissue today, okay, time is also very less here. So I take only few minutes just to connective tissue. They will connect the other tissue or organ, and they will connect what? They will connect the cartilage. Okay, the range from the soft connective tissue to a specialized type. Soft connective tissue are the cartilage, the bone, adipose tissue, and blood. Okay, these are the soft connective tissues. And in all connective tissue except the blood, cells, they secrete the fiber. The cells of the tissue secrete the fiber, and these fiber contain structural protein. Okay, these fiber, they contain structural protein, okay, known as the collagen or elastin. Collagen or elastin. With this collagen or elastin fibers, okay, they will connect the different kind of elements of the tissues. Different kind of element, the different kind of cells are connected by the collagen or elastin. So, okay, In the next class, we will do about the connective tissue in detail, loose. Okay, then we go to the dense connective tissue and specialized connective tissue. We'll do in the next class. Thank you.